Entertainment. Combs allegedly threatened former Vibe editor-in-chief Danielle Smith in 1997, after she declined to show him an upcoming magazine cover depicting him as an angel. The editor of a music magazine on Friday became the latest woman to accuse embattled rapper Sean Diddy Combs of violent behavior, claiming he'd threatened to see her dead in the trunk of a car over a 1997 editorial dispute. Combs and I worked together a lot, Danielle Smith, then editor-in-chief at Vibe magazine, wrote in the New York Times. So often I thought I came out on top. I was mistaken. I had reason to fear for my life. What happened was insidious. It broke my brain. I forgot the worst of it for 27 years. The editor of a music magazine on Friday became the latest woman to accuse embattled rapper Sean Diddy Combs of violent behavior, claiming he'd threatened to see her dead in the trunk of a car over a 1997 editorial dispute. Combs is currently facing multiple lawsuits alleging sexual assault and physical abuse, as well as an ongoing federal criminal investigation into his alleged involvement in sex trafficking. Combs and I worked together a lot, Danielle Smith, then editor-in-chief at Vibe magazine, wrote in the New York Times. Competed, in our way. So often I thought I came out on top. I was mistaken. I had reason to fear for my life. What happened was insidious. It broke my brain. I forgot the worst of it for 27 years. Smith recalled wanting Combs on the cover of Vibe's December 1997, January 1998 issue in white, feathered wings. The photo shoot in September went swimmingly, but the aftermath proved disturbing. Combs wanted to see the Vibe covers before they went to press, Smith wrote Friday. It wasn't our policy to show covers before publication. So after I told him no, we heard that he planned to come to our office and force us to show him. Smith recalled staffers hashing out a plan to keep her safe from Combs. By then, the rap mogul had been found guilty in 1996 of threatening a New York Post reporter with a gun and was also busy denying that he had something to do with the 1996 killing of Tupac Shakur. Smith recalled grabbing her stack of cover proofs depicting Combs when he arrived at the Vibe offices and rushing them to her managing editor before jumping into a cab to flee. Combs resumed his efforts the very next day. Smith said she politely refused to show him the cover when he called to demand seeing it. It was then that Combs told me, as I've retold hundreds of times over the years, that he would see me, dead in the trunk of a car, she wrote Friday. Not missing a beat, I told him he needed to take that threat back. Take it back, I said, sounding as if I were 10. Take what back? Then, with a vile laugh, expletive you, Smith continued. Take it back now, I said. Or I'm calling my lawyer, and you're going to jail. He said, I know where you are right now. Right on Lexington Avenue. Combs refused comment to the New York Times. HuffPost has since reached out. Smith recalled that, while he faxed over an apology within hours, the magazine's computer servers went missing a few days later. Fortunately, a staffer had saved an early version of their upcoming issue on a personal disk, and the cover went to print. Within the lengthy contribution, published Friday, Smith detailed her interactions with the embattled rapper and hip-hop mogul, who has been accused of numerous sexual assaults and documented on a 2016 surveillance tape beating his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Smith recalled how in 1997 Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy, demanded to see dual covers of Vibe depicting him as alternately an angel and a devil. She refused and he allegedly called to tell her he would see her, dead in the trunk of a car, if she didn't comply. When she asked him to take it back, he swore at her and told her he knew her exact location at that moment. Smith did not show him the covers, and the servers that contained the final version of the magazine were stolen from the office before its scheduled print time. An art director had a copy of the issue on CD, so the magazine came out as planned, despite the theft. Smith also shared a troubling incident in which she and other female friends were having cocktails with importer when the rapper burst in and demanded she return home immediately, dumping out the contents of her purse on the table. He snatched up her bank cards to the beat of, "You ain't got no business in here. You need to be at home with those kids." Combs yelled something like, "Get home as best you can." From the sidewalk, I saw Porter being hustled into the limo in which we arrived. One of the friends, more tired than terrified, shot me a look, "You good?" And they were gone, Smith wrote. She recalled another time at a party thrown by Epic Records when Ventura, best known by the mononym Cassie, was uncharacteristically alone and asked her how she was doing. Smith sensed the singer was on the verge of telling her something important. We each wanted to say something. It seemed that neither of us could find the words, Smith said. Cassie refused to comment for the article. It wasn't just Combs who made things difficult for Smith. There's no safe space for an ambitious woman. Not anywhere, and definitely not in the entertainment business. Men keep it dangerous so they can keep it theirs, she wrote. She described an incident where a media executive bullied her at a bar. He'd made it clear he was going to walk me to my hotel room. It was obvious that he wanted sex. In his pulsing nostril was resentment about the job I had. He had the focused look of a person who believes you have stolen something from him, and that something is actually you. Danielle Smith then alleged that Diddy told her she'd be found, dead in the trunk of a car, before her company got mysteriously raided. In a personal essay published in the New York Times Magazine on Friday, the former editor-in-chief alleged that the bad boy for life threatened her life when they had a fallout in the 90s. Smith explained that after they had a photo shoot session inspired by the 1978 film cover, Heaven Can Wait, starring Warren Beatty, Diddy called afterward to see the covers before publication, which goes against company policy. She noted that she told him about the magazine's policy and claimed, "We heard that he planned to come to our office and force us to show him what we'd chosen, and to make us choose something else if he didn't like what he saw." The former editor recalled that a year before the incident, he'd been found guilty of threatening a New York Post photographer with a gun, and also allegedly beat a woman at his bad boy office. Hence, a plan was hatched to keep her safe if Diddy wanted to come to Vibe magazine's New York office and follow through on his threats. The act bad singer allegedly went to her office but didn't meet her as she sneaked out of the building. The next day, he called and asked to speak to her. He was still on message. He wanted to see the covers. I was still on message. It's not what we do, Smith shared, going on to allege that Diddy told her he would see me, dead in the trunk of a car. Not missing a beat, I told him he needed to take that threat back. The threats seemingly didn't stop as Smith wrote in her essay that Diddy replied, "Take what back?" before cursing with a vile laugh. She added that she immediately contacted her lawyers, and he faxed over an apology within 2 hours. However, she was left shocked when she went into the Vibe magazine office one morning and discovered that a couple of servers had been stolen and that it was rumored to have been an inside job. That someone on Vibe's publishing side had let in movers from Bad Boy. It was almost time to send pages to the printer, and the whole issue was saved on those servers, she wrote. All the editorial changes. All the pages, with the advertising adjacencies that had been paid for by clients. Gone. Luckily for her, the magazine's art director had saved the pages of the edition on a separate disc.
As you leave the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. Thank you for watching.